Right now at noon, more than 170 businesses have been damaged in the Twin Cities from rioting and looting. This as unrest continues to grow following the death of George Floyd. And a Fort Atkinson man could face 5 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide following a house fire in Janesville. We'll have the latest.
This is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Minnesota authorities are trying to get a handle on the escalating violence in Minneapolis. The unrest stems from the death of a black man in police custody. Last night, protesters set fire to a police precinct. Nicole Killian reports from Washington, D.C.
State police officers in riot gear, backed by the National Guard, moved in to secure the streets of Minneapolis as fires continued to burn in the morning hours. Last night, protesters set fire to the police station where the 4 officers involved in the arrest of George Floyd worked before they were fired. The mayor of Minneapolis ordered the building evacuated and defended his decision to let it burn.
The symbolism of a building cannot outweigh the importance of life, of our officers, or the public. We could not risk serious injury to anyone.
It was one of many fires set in the city, including this building that partially collapsed. Holy cow. There has also been widespread looting. Corboy Vala had to fend off looters who tried to steal the safe from his sports bar.
It's not fair, it's not right. You know, we've been working so hard for this place. No, this is not just for me, it's for my family.
Protesters want the 4 officers involved in the incident to be criminally charged with Floyd's death immediately.
This delay seems like it's suggesting that you're going to try to sweep his death under the rug.
Minneapolis police say Derek Chauvin, the officer seen with his knee on Floyd's neck, has had 18 complaints against him in his career, but faced discipline for only 2. Protests in the wake of George Floyd's death have spread across the country, including here in Washington, D.C. And dozens were arrested during protests in New York City. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Washington.
At a news conference today, the governor of Minnesota said what's happening in Minneapolis is generations of pain manifesting itself in front of the world, but says we have to restore order before anything else can happen. CNN correspondent Omar Jimenez was arrested by Minnesota State Patrol on live TV this morning. Jimenez was reporting from the scene of protests in Minneapolis over the death of George Floyd when he was taken into police custody. During the live report, Jimenez fully cooperated with authorities and offered to move if he was standing in the wrong area. Despite having press credentials, Jimenez, his producer, and photographer were all detained. Jimenez and his crew were released after about an hour in custody.
The one thing that gave me a little bit of comfort was that it happened on live TV. There's been this, when you talk within the community about, let's just say, what's happened with George Floyd, there's always a discussion that what's happening isn't new, it's being filmed. And that speaks to the power of having something happen on camera, because you can have people speak up for you without you saying anything. And that gave me a little bit of comfort knowing that you guys saw what was happening, I was living what was happening, and the country was seeing what was happening unfold in real time right before their eyes.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz apologized to CNN President Jeff Zucker this morning. Governor Walz called the arrest totally inadvertent and unacceptable, adding he takes full responsibility for the incident. The battle between President Trump and Twitter heated up last night after Twitter flagged one of the president's tweets as promoting violence. In response to the protests in Minnesota, which turned violent, President Trump tweeted, "These, quote, thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd." And he added, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts." Twitter flagged the tweet for violating its policy of glorifying violence. This comes after President Trump signed an executive order targeting Twitter and other social media companies. Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes tweeted shortly after the president did, saying he doesn't expect the president to fix everything, but also doubting the president wants to make things better. Barnes followed that up by saying, quote, "People are hurting. People are tired. We are done dying," adding he doesn't tweet about Floyd to this point because he found it too difficult to do so. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers is also responding to the death of George Floyd this morning. Governor Evers says, "We must see the trauma, fear, and exhaustion of being black in our state and our country. We must offer our empathy, we must offer our support, but most of all, we must offer our action. The solution isn't in one person, it's in all of us. Together, we must confront our comfortability with racism. We must reestablish trust with communities of color. We must be willing to listen. We must be willing to be uncomfortable. We must be willing to do the work." We'll continue to follow developments out of the Twin Cities today and have updates online and on later newscasts. Well, after a few days of scattered showers and storms, we're finally seeing some sunshine. Let's head to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first warned forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Mark. That is indeed the case. We still have a little bit of cloud cover out there right now, but that's working its way on out of town. We'll see things clear out in time. I want to show you high-resolution Doppler. All of the rainfall that we had over south central Wisconsin is now out of here. In fact, you see that back edge of the rainfall working its way towards Saginaw, Michigan right now. So with that being said, the humidity is also heading down as well. For the most part, it's comfortable out there. Dew points are now down into the 40s. You still have some higher dew points towards southeastern Wisconsin, but that drier air continues to work in from the north and west. And with the drier air moving in, means less chances for thunderstorms. There are no thunderstorm chances at all as we go through the weekend, but changes are, of course, brewing. We're already looking at when we'll see the next warm-up, when the humidity comes back, and I have to bring back the term heat index in this forecast, Mark. I'll discuss when coming up in a few minutes.
We'll enjoy the next few days then. All right, Chris, thank you. Fort Atkinson man is in custody following a house fire in Janesville. The Janesville Police Department says 30-year-old Jacob Piper was taken into custody yesterday afternoon. He could face multiple charges, including 5 counts of attempted first-degree intentional homicide and 1 count of arson. Firefighters responded to a home heavily engulfed in fire and at 220 South Franklin Street yesterday morning. Officials say the majority of the fire was put out in 20 minutes, but the house is considered a total loss. Damage is estimated to be about $150,000. A vehicle near the fire and a neighboring house were also damaged. No one was injured. Police are asking for the public's help in finding a Madison teenager who has been missing for 3 weeks. The Madison Police Department says 17-year-old Ariana Witt was last seen May 5th on Jacobs Way, where she was living. Police say there is no information that Ariana is the victim of a crime, but there is concern for her welfare. Ariana is 4 feet 5 inches tall, weighs 130 pounds. Anyone with information asked to contact the Madison area Crime Stoppers. And we are seeing another increase in COVID-19 cases in Dane County compared to yesterday. There have been 27 new cases in the county and 1 additional death. That brings the state's total numbers now to 17,279, including 554 deaths. Roughly 61% of all positive cases have recovered. 24 states reported increases in their average new COVID-19 cases compared to 2 weeks ago, including Wisconsin. Alabama has had more than 5,000 new positive cases of the virus in the last 14 days. Doctors at Children's Wisconsin Hospital have identified the state's first cases of a rare syndrome tied to COVID-19 in children. 7 cases of multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children have been reported to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services. 5 of those children were discharged after a brief hospital stay. 2 remain hospitalized. The syndrome causes swelling in different organs, including the heart, lungs, kidneys, brain, skin, eyes, and gastrointestinal organs. It's been seen in some kids who have been infected or exposed to COVID-19.
It's a difficult disease to diagnose because while the initial presentation can be similar to Kawasaki disease, it is still a distinct entity and different from Kawasaki disease, and seems to be, and this syndrome is associated with COVID-19, whereas Kawasaki disease is not, and we've known about Kawasaki disease for many decades.
Officials say most kids diagnosed with Miss C have recovered with brief hospital stays. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We've discovered the secret to making your everyday salad restaurant-worthy. It's easy, budget-friendly, and absolutely amazing.
Let the design team at Wanakee Furniture ETC help you find your inspiration and transform your room. Every style, every budget, our creativity, passion, and expertise will help you design your dream space.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. And if you haven't tried Plexiderm, we've created the best offer yet with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. Even the 11 lines between your eyes are visibly gone in minutes. Plexiderm works so well, makeup artists, celebrities in Hollywood, and even people across the country just like you look and feel years younger in minutes.
So I've had under-eye bags for a very long time, and it sucks. I've spent so much money on tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm, and I'm not joking. It works. When I do a collage and everything is done, it looks amazing. That is exactly how Plexiderm makes me feel. I put it on my face, and somehow, some way, I look together, which is amazing. I'm Jackie, and I took the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge, and so should you.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. And yet, when you look in the mirror, what you see necessarily isn't what you feel inside. Plexiderm, seriously, I look 20 years younger than I did before. And that's so super important because my whole life is about health, fitness, feeling good, and looking good. And first chance I really got to look how I feel inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shale rock. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under-eye bags and wrinkles in minutes. So if under-eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, take action with the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Monona Plumbing and Fire Protection remains open to serve our customers and communities during these times of uncertainty. We've got you covered for all your plumbing service needs. Call us for help. We are here for you.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Wanakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
How come whenever we eat out and order a big salad, they often taste so much better than the ones we make at home? If you want an easy restaurant fancy salad that tastes great, let me share with you a few tips, along with a dressing that'll take it over the top. After cutting some lettuce into small pieces, we wash it and dry it really well. Now to that, we add a can of black beans that we've drained really well, a good amount of frozen corn that's been thawed, some chopped red onion, and a pint or so of cherry tomatoes that we cut in half. While that chills for a few minutes in the fridge, we toss some cilantro, avocado, a couple cloves of garlic into the blender, along with some olive oil, mayo, fresh lime juice, and a touch of salt and pepper. Once it's blended, we drizzle it over our salad, give it a toss, and it's ready to serve. It's just as good as those pricey restaurant salads, and to me, even better. This is one of those salads where everything is just the right size, so you don't know if you should eat it with a fork or a spoon. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our Southwestern salad toss, which would be perfect to serve tonight or really any night. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tasty way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a sunny and less humid day throughout southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Chris Reese will tell us what's in store for the weekend. That's ahead.
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
We're back. We got to-go food.
Oh, good. What a treat after a long week and no cleanup. When you can't dine in, then get it to go and support our restaurants during Madison Magazine's Restaurant Week to Go. 2 weeks of fabulous to-go menus you'll love. Visit madisonmagazine.com for details and menus. Restaurant Week to Go, presented by Kesnick's. Food service design, equipment, and supplies.
I guess there is still cleanup to do. Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
against all enemies. That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me. So help me God.
Take a break from cooking at home and order takeout from your local Monk's Bar and Grill. Monk's is offering curbside pickup takeout service for your safety and convenience during these difficult times. Visit monksbarandgrill.com for takeout menus and online ordering.
Saturday morning, we're counting down to the historic SpaceX launch, which isn't expected to run into any delays this time around.
And weather isn't expected to cause any problems here in Madison either.
We'll see you starting at 5 o'clock Saturday.
News 3 Now is partnering with the Madison School District to provide its high school seniors with special commencement ceremonies. Class of 2020, born to make history. June 12th and 13th on News 3 Now and streamed live on Channel 3000.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Checking Wall Street at the noon hour, the Dow Industrials down 283 points, the NASDAQ off 13, and the S&P 500 down 22. Farm Director Pam Yankee is here today with today's Ag News. Hi, Pam.
I know everybody is still focused in on the Wisconsin State Fair announcement that it's canceled for this year, and I'll be having more information for you next week, following up on programs like our Wisconsin Centennial Sesquicentennial recognition that happens at the State Fair, as well as some of the nonprofits that are impacted. That's coming next week right here. I want to focus in today on that $50 million of state aid that is coming directly to our Wisconsin farm families. I talked yesterday with Randy Romansky, our interim Ag Secretary at the Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection, and he said that we probably will know by next week what mechanism they're going to use to distribute that $50 million direct to our Wisconsin farm families. Remember, this is a Wisconsin program, not a federal program, and since we aren't used to distributing that kind of money, we have to kind of create the system, and that's what's taking a little time. Romansky said they're working with the Wisconsin Department of Revenue and the agriculture commodity stakeholder groups that asked originally for the $50 million. So we hope to have more on that next week. But don't confuse the two. This is the $50 million in state-directed money as opposed to what we call CFAP. That's the federal monies. You can check in at your County Farm Service Agency office for more there. And our grocery stores are not out of the woods yet with COVID-19. Brandon Scholes, the Wisconsin Grocers Association executive director, was telling me yesterday, now they are facing can shortages, aluminum cans. He said some of the food processors have had to change up what they are canning and put pause on some of the products. And it's also impacting some of the cans that may be delivered to grocery stores, regardless of the order. So, again, although some of the shelves may be replenished, and we're happy for that, there's still some supply chain glitches that our grocery stores and our farmers are working through. Just a quick update on what's happening on a Finally Friday. Don't forget, I'll have more for you all weekend long. MidwestFarmReport.com. I'm Pam Yankee. Be safe.
You too, Pam. Have a great weekend. Here's Chris now with the weekend forecast.
There's about a 100% chance that folks who own a home are going to be mowing the lawn as we go through the weekend. This is because we had a lot of rainfall come down yesterday. Many areas ended up with around 2 inches of rain, especially from about Janesville and towards the north and west. The Dells, Lone Rock. You worked your way through parts of Iowa County over towards Highland. You got a lot of rainfall yesterday. Now, as you worked south and east, the rainfall amounts did taper off, but we all saw the rain. That's out of here now. High-resolution Doppler is going to have a nice, relaxing weekend of clear skies really all across the upper Midwest. Here's that line of rainfall now moving away from us right along the cold front. Back behind that, high pressure is going to be taking hold. That's going to allow the cooler air to settle in along with the lower humidity. So after all that rain, you're going to have a nice sunny weekend. Yes, the grass is truly getting ready to go. I want to show you how things are looking outside right now. Still a little bit of cloud cover out there on the horizon, but they're clearing out in time. Temperatures are in the low 60s right now. Those winds are coming out of the north and northwest at 8 miles per hour. A little weather tidbit that I love to show. The dew point right around the lunchtime hour is a good indicator of where your overnight low is going to be when high pressure sets up. Our dew point's at 48. Overnight lows will likely fall into the upper 40s as we head into tonight. Here's temperatures right now. We're at 62. Janesville is at 68. Still a couple areas are into the upper 50s, but we'll all warm up into the 60s as we go through today. Still plenty of sunshine this afternoon. We'll see those temperatures topping out right around 67 or so. Here's that overnight low, by the way, coming in right at 49. We're going to keep the northwesterly wind flow around into your Saturday. That means low humidity, more sunshine on Saturday as well. Temperatures will top out to the upper 60s again. With enough sunshine, some of us may have the opportunity to make it towards 70, but I still expect most of us to be into the upper 60s for those highs. Then something happens as we get into Saturday night and into your early Sunday morning. That's going to be a return of the winds coming out of the south. That sets the stage for some warmer temperatures as we head into next week, folks. I always like to show the upper air pattern because that drives what our weather is right here on the ground. So this is the jet stream, and when you see the jet stream really rise up into southern Canada and then dip down throughout the eastern part of the country, we call this a ridge. This really works in the favor of allowing warmer temperatures for the upper Midwest, but more humidity too. At the same time, you oftentimes get thunderstorms that ride over the top and edge of this ridge here. And by the time we get you towards the middle of next week, it's very likely that we might be in this regime where we see thunderstorms coming in out of the north and west. So we'll watch that set up for the middle part of next week. Plus the warmth and the humidity, we're going to be keeping those thunderstorm chances in the forecast. In fact, you look through the next 6 to 10 days, really all through the first week of June, and this continues into the second week of June. We're looking at above normal temperatures for much of the country here, especially the middle of the country. That is because of that ridge setup here. But let me show you how temperatures are going to be responding. We'll go from 60s this weekend into the low 80s by Tuesday and Wednesday. A little cooler for Thursday and Friday. That's because the warm front is going to go back south as a little cold front and then back north as a warm front again. But 86 by Sunday, and the day after that, our forecast high is going to be 87 with the heat index perhaps into the mid-90s. And I would not be surprised if beyond the next 10 days, our first 90-degree temperature is not far away. We are very much into a summer pattern. It's going to feature chances for showers and thunderstorms almost each and every day by the time we get you towards next week.
I'm enjoying this weekend.
Yeah, enjoy the weekend for sure. But if you are lucky enough to have a pool, you're going to use it.
All right, thank you. Ahead at noon, the Scripps Spelling Bee has been canceled this year. What former contestants are doing to make sure kids get the chance to compete. That's after a short break.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
For almost 50 years, we've built trust within our communities by making customer delight our top priority. That trust allows us to improve lives one home at a time. During this challenging time, we want to make sure your needs are being met without stress by offering 2-for-1 windows with no interest and no payments for 1 year. So go ahead, visit us online, or call now from the comfort of home.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
If a physical or emotional condition keeps you from working, Social Security should pay disability benefits. Often it doesn't, and deserving people are denied. I'm attorney Don Becker. Don't give up. In Wisconsin, we've turned thousands of disability denials into approvals. Disability law is all we do.
Call the Becker Law Office, 1-800-254-7766.
Though challenges surround us, life still goes on. There's still time to dream, still plans to be made. And if you're retiring soon, still deadlines to be met. We talk with people every day who need to replace their employer benefits when they retire. We can answer your questions too, so you can feel good about the decisions you make. For a retirement benefits checklist, visit us online or call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company today.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
U.S. Cellular?
Yeah. New customer? What's the deal?
Unlimited data, just $30 a month.
But what's the deal with the signal? It works everywhere. It's crazy.
You're going into signal shock? Just breathe with me. Unlimited data, strong signal.
Strong signal.
All for $30 a month.
U.S. Cellular.
And now when you switch, you can also get $700 off the latest phones with no trade-in required. Now that's fair. U.S. Cellular. Choose fair.
Slumberland's huge memorial sale is almost over. Don't miss out on hundreds of incredible markdowns, like a power recliner for just $396, a Sealy Queen mattress marked way down to $598, our best-selling Adirondack chairs for just $188, our lowest price ever. If you've been waiting for our very best deals, this is it. And get free no-contact shipping with no minimum. But it all ends Sunday the 31st, so don't miss it. The memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture.
We have some breaking news just into our newsroom. Minnesota authorities say the police officer who knelt on George Floyd has been arrested. Officer Davin Chauvin was taken into custody 4 days after he knelt on Floyd. Protests are ongoing in the city right now. This is a developing story. We'll have more online and in our later newscast. Well, the cancellation of the famed Scripps National Spelling Bee over the pandemic is heartbreaking news for students who qualified for the event. But thanks to the ingenuity of two former top spellers, there is an opportunity for the students to shine this year. A brother and sister from Houston, Texas started the Spell Pundit, a spelling bee preparation company where the virtual competition was announced for children up to 8th grade.
Especially for 8th graders, like this would have been like their last chance to compete in the National Spelling Bee, so it's just kind of like so that their work doesn't go to like a complete waste.
The top prize for the Scripps Spelling Bee is $50,000. The virtual spelling bee is much lower at $2,500. And the winner this year was 14-year-old Navneet Muriel from Edison, New Jersey. That's a great idea. All right, Chris, I spelled this weekend perfect.
Yeah, this weekend is going to be absolutely beautiful. We're going to see abundant sunshine, a little bit of cloud cover behind me that's slowly working its way on out. Look for temperatures into the upper 60s. 70s return by Monday, then the 80s by Tuesday. I'll tell you what, folks, the humidity is getting ready to come right back along with the shower and thunderstorm chances next week. By the time we get you towards next weekend, Mark, we're talking upper 80s with heat indices returning to the 90s. So summer is knocking on the doorstep here in South Central Wisconsin.
And we haven't hit 90 yet, have we?
We have not hit 90 yet this year.
What's
not
the average,
last summer.
What's the average date for that?
The average date for 90, there is none. Oh. So there's some summers where you just don't hit 90. So we'll see.
Oh, we'll see. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.
Now, a WISC-TV editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
A couple of days ago, we got an email from the Local Voices Network, the impactful nonprofit convening inclusive conversations with underheard community voices on shared concerns. WISC is a partner in that work. I'd like to read part of the email to you. When we started hosting virtual conversations amidst the COVID-19 pandemic, we weren't sure how they would go, but we knew they were necessary. The stories that have emerged have been powerful, insightful, and inspiring. Where we weren't sure technology would facilitate connection, many have found it to be a lifeline, staging off alienation and loneliness. And now, as many states announce their plans to reopen and rebuild, we have a unique opportunity to listen to a diversity of perspectives, to address gaps in information, resources, and access. Thanks to Local Voices Network, we're hearing those voices. It's hard to imagine more important work right now.